Hello friends, how are you all? Hope everybody is fine staying at their homes and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will be learning Class 9 CBSE Civics Chapter 1 What is Democracy? Why Democracy? The lesson name itself divides the lesson into two topics: what is democracy and why democracy. In this video, we will be learning what is democracy. In what is democracy, we will be learning a simple definition of democracy and the four features of democracy. In why democracy, we will be learning the merits and the demerits of the democracy. A simple factor common to all democracies is the government is chosen by the people. Thus, we could start with a simple definition. Democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. This is a useful starting point. This definition allows us to separate democracy from the forms of government that are clearly not democratic. For example, the army rulers of Myanmar were not elected by the people. Those who happened to be in the control of the army became the rulers of the country. People had no say in this decision. This simple definition is not adequate. It reminds us that democracy is people's rule. But if we use this definition in an unthinking manner, we should end up calling almost every government that holds an election a democracy. Is it correct, friends? Moreoverly, not. Every government in contemporary world wants to be called a democracy, even if it is not so. That is why we need to carefully distinguish between a government that is a democracy and one that pretends to be one. So now we will be discussing the features of democracy. First feature. In a democracy, the final decision-making power must rest with those elected by the people. For understanding this, let us take an example. In Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf led a military coup in October 1999. He overthrew a democratically elected government and declared himself the chief executive of the country. Later, he changed his designation to president, and in 2002 he held a referendum in the country that granted him a 5-year extension. Pakistani media, human rights organizations and democracy activists said that the referendum was based on malpractices and fraud. In August 2002, he issued a legal framework order that amended the Constitution of Pakistan. According to this order, the president can dismiss the national and provincial assemblies. The work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by a National Security Council, which is dominated by military officers. After passing this law, elections were held to the national and provincial assemblies. So, Pakistan has elections, elected representatives, have some powers. But the final power rested with military officers and General Musharraf himself. Clearly, there are many reasons why Pakistan under General Musharraf should not be called a democracy. Therefore, this gives us the first feature. In a democracy, the final decision-making power must rest with those elected by the people. Second feature. A democracy must be based on a free and fair elections where those currently in power have a fair chance of losing. For understanding this feature, let us take an example. In China, elections are regularly held after every 5 years for electing the country's parliament, National People's Congress. The National People's Congress has the power to appoint the president of the country. It has nearly 3,000 members elected from all over China. Before contesting elections, a candidate needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. Only those who are members of the Chinese Communist Party or 8 smaller parties allied to it were allowed to contest elections held in 2002 and 3. Due to this, people can vote to only one party. They don't have another option. The government is always formed by the Communist Party because of more number of candidates. Another example is that of Mexico. Since its independence in 1930, Mexico holds elections after every 6 years. Until 2000, every election was won by a party called PRI. Opposition parties did contest elections but never managed to win because the PRI was known to use many dirty tricks to win elections. All those who were employed in government offices had to attend its party meetings. Teachers of government schools used to force parents to vote for the PRI. Media largely ignored the activities of opposition political parties except to criticize them. Sometimes the polling booths were shifted from one place to another in the last minute, which made it difficult for people to cast their votes. The PRI party spent a large sum of money in the campaign for its candidates. Friends, should we consider the elections described above as examples of people electing their rulers? After understanding these examples, we get a sense that we cannot. There are many problems here. In China, the elections do not offer the people any serious choice. They have to choose the ruling party and the candidates approved by it. Can we call this as a choice? Surely we can say that is no, because there is no another party to choose. In the Mexican example, people seem to really have a choice, but in practice, they had no choice. There was no way the ruling party could be defeated even if the people were against it. These are not fair elections. Therefore, our second feature of democracy, a democracy must be based on a free and fair election where those currently in power have a fair chance of losing, is true now. Third feature, in a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have one value. The principle of universal adult franchise has now come to be accepted almost all over the world. Yet, there are many instances of denial of equal right to vote. For example, until 2015, in Saudi Arabia, women did not have right to vote. And another example is that after the disintegration of USSR in 1991, Estonia became independent. Many people from Russia came to Estonia and became the citizens of Estonia. In Estonia, during elections, only the Estonians, that is the local people, were given right to vote, but the migrated people from Russia were denied the right to vote. Another example is that during the rule of British, many people from Awadh region in India were taken as laborers to Fiji to work in the plantations. So, many Indians got settled in Fiji. When Britishers left Fiji, Fiji became independent. In Fiji, during elections, the Fijians have one vote which carries three values. Indian Fijians also have the right to vote, but their right to vote has only one value. Therefore, this tells us that democracy is based on a fundamental principle of political equality. So, it gives us the third feature of democracy. In a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have one value. Fourth feature. A democratic government rules within limits set by constitutional law and citizens' rights. For understanding this, let us take an example. Zimbabwe is one of the South African countries located in African continent. At present, Harare is the capital of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is completely filled with forests and comprises with many tribals. And tribals were of many tribes. Each tribe used to have their own land. They were not at all civilized compared to India. As a result, the Britishers completely settled down in Zimbabwe and made Zimbabwe as their homes. Slowly, the Britishers who have settled in Zimbabwe were considered as whites, and the tribal people were considered as blacks based on their color. The white people completely used to discriminate the black people, being known as untouchability. Racism was mainly practiced by the whites. So the whites in Zimbabwe were holding the power in Zimbabwe for a long time. As a result, in the period of 1960, the Zimbabweans were united together and formed a union naming Zimbabwe African National Union. The most prominent leader of this union was Robert Mugabe. This man fought for the blacks. He didn't want the whites to be in the power. As a result, he gathered all the Zimbabweans, that is the local people, and fought against the whites. Most of the blacks have followed Robert Mugabe. So therefore, we call it as a Rhodesian War. That means a fight against whites by blacks. This war continued for a period of 20 to 25 years, and there was an agreement between the blacks and whites, and the blacks have finally won the independence and had a right to stand in elections. In 1970, Robert Mugabe established his own party named ZANU-PF, ZANU-PF. And in the general elections of 1970, Robert Mugabe won with a huge majority and became the Prime Minister of Zimbabwe. Being the Prime Minister of Zimbabwe, he had done a quite number of good things. Robert Mugabe took the property, that is the land of whites, and gave it to the blacks. Later, he became the President of Zimbabwe due to the change in constitution. Robert Mugabe was one of the supreme leader. After a period of 20 years, initially Mugabe used to give the whites property to blacks. As a president, he forgot that whites were also the citizens of Zimbabwe. As a result, in 2001-2002, the fights between blacks and whites have restarted. Mugabe feared that he may lose in the next elections. So, Robert Mugabe completely lost the support of ZANU-PF. During the next elections, Robert Mugabe created a lot of mess and made the elections violent. He also made everyone to vote for him. Due to this, the GDP of Zimbabwe fell drastically to 2.5. At that time, one single apple cost rupees 60 to 70 rupees. Like this, many people were left to starvation, and starvation made everyone to see their death. Like this, for every election until 2017, he made all the citizens of Zimbabwe to vote for him. The opposing persons, some members of his own party were killed by him. Media was suppressed to say positively about Robert Mugabe. Like Pervez Musharraf, he also changed the constitution of Zimbabwe. The members of ZANU-PF party were fed up with Robert Mugabe. They made Robert Mugabe to completely step down away from the power. At present, Emerson of ZANU-PF party is the president of Zimbabwe. Similarly, there are some conditions that apply to the way a government is run after the elections. A democratic government cannot do whatever it likes simply because it has won an election. Therefore, this statement gives us the fourth feature of democracy. A democratic government rules within limits set by constitutional law and citizens' rights. Friends, hope that this video helps you. I'll be soon with the part 2 of the video, and don't forget to